everybody, and welcome back to Soul Studios. I'm your host, Soul, and today we're talking about when I first really got into the FNAF fandom. Fair warning, I was a dumb child and did not really know a lot of I didn't know a lot of what I know now. So things were messy. This topic was voted on in my weekly poll. It was actually hysterical to watch because for the first 3 days that the poll was up, the votes for this topic were at 100%. You guys were ready for Freddy. My weekly topic poll goes up every Wednesday and goes into effect the following Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all should go check that out and vote on what video you would like to see next. So, the Five Nights at Freddy fandom. It's been around for a good almost 11 years now. To be honest, it feels like we've been here since the beginning. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. The beginning of time. 2014 seems eons ago. I first got into the fandom around 2016, so at the time we already had the first 4 FNAF games plus sister location. There was a lot that I could learn and be a part of, and it was going to be great, but the horrific thing was that I just didn't. 2016 FNAF fan me had never played the games, never seen the games, and only knew characters by their names and from fan art. I know my friends at the time liked the games and had actually played them, so we would often get into discussions about the characters, but not in a lore sense. More like in a who do you ship with who and who do you think is hot sense. If you know these characters and this game, as I now do, you know that this talking point is really odd. On the one hand, shipping can absolutely exist in the fandom, and heaven knows I read a lot of fanfic back then. But you have to be careful because half or most of these characters are actually possessed by literal children, which makes the morals of shipping and calling a character hot come into question. Younger me did not care about any of these morals and threw them out the window because she thought this content was too good to pass up. A lot of ex-reader fanfics going around. My little brain wasn't safe. I didn't get heavy into the lore side of things and what I think is a more prevalent side of the fandom until around 2018. I was very angsty and very angry at the time, and I was in my room and on YouTube a lot. Typical teenager stuff, because I think that was mid-teenager for me. I don't know, but I started gravitating towards FNAF during that time. MatPat and game theory were, of course, my key points of information, and I occasionally would watch the Markiplier playthroughs, but get this, that's all I watched. I literally didn't watch any other FNAF content. I guess at the time, I liked FNAF, and I liked being a part of the fandom, but I didn't really want to get, super engaged in it, I guess. But here's the best part of this entire thing. I have only played Pete Sierra Simulator, Help Wanted, and Security Breach. I've never played any of the other games. To this day, I haven't. I would like to, but I absolutely haven't. It's kind of bothered me in a sense, because while I know you could technically be a fan of a game just by watching playthroughs and theories and whatnot, I have always felt the guilt at not actually playing the core games. An even more hilarious kicker in all of this is that I don't enjoy playing horror games, or I don't enjoy horror media in general. Gets to me a lot. My anxiety is really bad if I play games or see anything like that. I get very paranoid and have a hard time functioning in the real world if I interact with that side of things too much. I wish I could say FNAF was an exception because it can be on the more tame side of things as far as gameplay goes, but it is absolutely not. I get just as much anxiety and paranoia playing any FNAF game than I do any other piece of horror media. I'll watch playthroughs and theories about it all day long. Those don't bother me in the slightest, but actually playing the games is rough. All in all, to say that younger me had no clue what she was getting into, and I'm not entirely sure I could even call younger me a true FNAF fan. I just really wanted new romance fanfics to read, and the creepy robots seemed to do the trick for some reason. Also, fanfic writers seem to conveniently forget the part where the robots were possessed by children. I feel like that would be a key stopping point. In doing your research for these characters, did that just never pop up? And why was younger me so obsessed with it? As an adult, I very much steer clear of the shipping/romance side of the fandom, as it makes me very uncomfortable knowing what I do now, and in general just isn't my cup of tea anymore. Don't get me wrong, I love a good romance fanfiction, just not when it's about child-possessed robots who definitely still have the mentality of a child, no matter what you say. And I even drew my own fan art. I used to ship Foxy and Bonnie, and that was just a whole era. Looking back on it now is a cringe fest. Like, ew. There are so many things that I look back on now, and it's all very ew. I still can't wrap my head around being okay with shipping and romancing on the child-possessed robots. I do not see that appeal. Younger me definitely did. Like, that's insane. And it almost, I don't want to say it is like a very pedo thing to do, because younger me was not being a pedo. She just liked the robots, and people, like, certain fanfics would paint them in the adult light. Like, it was never, I'm not accusing fanfic writers of being pedos or weirdos. I mean, some fanfic writers are weirdos, but that's a whole different topic. I'm not accusing fanfic writers of being like that. I think a big thing was like, oh, well, these characters are either aged up or we've gotten rid of the child possession thing entirely so that you can enjoy this media without feeling guilty. But I still feel guilty as an adult about it, if that makes sense. Like, because child me legitimately did not care. And that's a weird thing to admit. I feel like that's a thing that can get me canceled or something like that. I swear, younger me literally wasn't like, it's not like I took the characters and I was like, oh, I know they're child possessed, but I'm gonna throw that out the window. It's literally, I took the characters and I was like, I actually don't know that much about this fandom, but they're writing fanfic about it, so it can't be that bad. That was back when I did not know that fanfic could be a horrific thing. Insanity. It just goes to show how a person can change. I am much more into the lore side of things now. Recently, I've taken a major interest in all the fan games and the history behind those. I found a lot of my new favorite YouTubers through some of those videos. And it's actually gotten me more into like really long form content. I'll sit here and listen to an hour of someone ranting about something in particular, whereas I used to not be able to do that. Very neat stuff. Yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom will outlive us all, I think. It's still going strong. I think it seems less active than it used to be, only because the newer games kind of were not what the older games were. Yeah, anyway, it feels like this video was short, but honestly, I don't think it needed to be longer. I don't want to go into the gory details about how younger me was drooling over Foxy and Bonnie and Freddy. Not Chica, though. I had a deep hatred for Chica, and a part of me still does. I have no clue why. I think it's just because I didn't like her design. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all stay safe, drink some water, remember to breathe, and I will see you in the next video.